In many people's eyes, the man that we will be discussing today was constantly referred to as a bum. And the reason they said that was they were mainly influenced by one of the greatest centers of all time. But, ayo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Alvin Mike from L.T.A. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Javale McGee. Now, for those of you that are unaware, Javale's on a trajectory that's a bit strange, but also makes a lot of sense. As when he was in the NBA, most people referred to him as a bum, mainly because Shaq was constantly dogging on him. But now, he's gone overseas, and at the age of what I believe to be 37, Javale McGee's putting out a performance that is MVP-like in the Australian Basketball League. For those of you that don't remember the Australian Basketball League, that's where we saw LaMelo Ball play right before getting drafted. But before we get into discussing this completely, I do gotta say special shout out to all of you for watching all the videos on the channel. I really do appreciate the support we've seen so far, and hopefully we continue to see more, because even though today's video isn't NBA based as it usually is, there is a little bit of an attachment, and I felt I needed to bring this topic to everyone's forefront because, yeah, I just finished watching the Illawara Hawks play the Perth, I forgot what the name of the Perth team is. I think it's Wildcats, Perth Wildcats. And yeah, this is the second game Javale's played in, and this is the second game I've watched him play in Australia, and I'ma just tell you now, there is levels to basketball. Now, for those of you that are unaware who Javale McGee is, he was drafted in 2008 with the 18th pick by the Washington Wizards. At this time, they were a dying franchise, and obviously a year later, 2 years later, they managed to draft the one and only John Wall, who to this day is one of my favorite point guards of all time. Now, throughout his illustrious career, Javale managed to play about 16 years in the league, managing to rack up 3 titles. Yes, 3, not 2, because most people know him for 2 titles, one with Golden State and one with the Lakers. They don't remember that he was also there for the other Golden State title as well. But yeah, throughout his career, managed to rack up 3 titles, finished with a career average of 7.6 points, 5.0 rebounds, 0.4 assists, 0.4 steals, and 1.4 blocks throughout his career. Anyone who watched him play throughout his career will tell you one thing. Javale was basically a tall giant with a lot of athleticism. He was Rudy Gobert with more athleticism and a little bit more of an offensive bag. The only issue for Javale was, I really do believe Shaquille O'Neal ruined his career. I mean, Javale did have a lot of issues where he was getting confused on where to be, but as he matured and he developed more, we saw a lot more from him and a lot more production that was profitable. But the issue was, by the time that he was showing this development, it was too late, as the league was moving on from playing it in the post and the mid-range to now shooting threes, for which Javale's never been great at, as throughout his career he averaged 19% from 3, with his greatest shooting percentage ever being 50%, which is only because I assume he took 2 shots. But that defeats the point. The reason that I'm bringing Javale up today is because, yes, as I said, I was watching Australian basketball, and as I said, Javale McGee is putting up performances that are worth discussing. Now, in his debut game against the Tasmania Jumperjacks, in 31 minutes, Javale McGee managed to drop 32 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks, and 2 steals. And then tonight, technically, if you're in Australia, but during the day today, he managed to put up another feat, dropping 26 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, and 1 block against the Perth Wildcats, who again are another competitive team within the league. For those of you that don't watch Australian basketball, I insist you do watch it. And if anything, this shows off a bunch of key points. Firstly, Javale McGee had a lot more game than a lot of us knew. I mean, obviously the level of competition there is a drop off between playing in the NBA versus playing in the NBL. But then the other key thing to remember is, in the Australian Basketball League, which is what I keep referring to as the NBL, they're still playing with the ability of having a big man who plays on the inside and doesn't stretch the floor too much. In the league right now, as in the NBA, we see that as a rarity, as there's very few bigs who can't shoot at least a deep mid-range jump shot, which for Javale, a lot of his game comes from being by the rim. And right now, we're also seeing a lot of bag work whereby he can catch the ball out at the perimeter and manage to drive his way to the hole. But the reason I say this is, firstly, this showcases the NBA is it's the greatest league in the world. Mainly because, for a guy who's 37 and throughout his entire career within the NBA, the most he averaged be 12 points, for him to come into the Australian League and now be averaging 29 points, 13.5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals and 2 blocks within 2 games. I mean, obviously it is a small sample. 2 games is not enough for us to really get a great picture. But again, for him to put up these sorts of numbers and be within the MVP race, despite the fact that his team is 0-2, which if you just saw the game they just played, it was quite sad how they lost. They had it majority of the way through the first quarter, second quarter, and then in the last minute of the second quarter, they gave up 9 to 10 points to basically give away the lead. And after that, the Perth Wildcats put the hammer to them, and Javale did not play all of the back half of the game, mainly due to the fact that he took a few collisions here and there. So for him to finish with the stats he did, it is impressive. But the NBA is at a different caliber to every other league that we see out there, just because, yeah, for the fact that a guy who is considered a bum can come out to another league and basically do this, that showcases that. That's the first thing. Second thing, if you are not tuned in with Australian basketball, I insist you do give it a shot and give it a chance to watch. Now, obviously, if you're in America, it does play around the AM time for you, which is hella early, like 5 a.m. in the morning. But hey, welcome to the life of what happens for us European basketball fans. We have to be up at those hours to watch NBA games. So tune into the Australian Basketball League. Javale McGee's doing something impressive. He might win the MVP if his team manages to turn it around, which I believe they will, because they're waiting for Will Hickey to basically recover from his injuries, which will be satisfying. And yeah, the rest of the team fits well around him. He's playing really well. I hope he wins the MVP because he does deserve better. Shaq ruined this man's career. Really and truly, this video was more me just telling you guys what Javale McGee's doing overseas, because it's really impressive. But hey, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, which if you did, don't forget to do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you haven't done so yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn post notifications on, because we will be uploading regularly, mainly when I see something that I really feel like I need to talk about. If you guys want me to discuss the whole WNBA situation with the commissioner, let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, as I said, down below in the comments, let me know what you think. Do you think Javale can win an MVP? Because if he does, where does that put Javale? He's got 3 rings, had decent averages throughout his career in the NBA regarding the amount of playing time he managed to get. And he's just the dude who can really ball. Main issue just being the NBA outgrew him with the 3-point shot, and Shaq made us believe he was worse than he was with how he spoke about him. But yeah, it's been your boy Alvin Mike from L.T.A. I'll catch you when I see another video that's worth discussing. I'll catch you in a bit. Deuces.